talk us through win tonight. Obviously, nice to get back in the win column. What did you like from the guys tonight?
Yeah, I think really when after the tough weekend, I think, there's two ways to look at it. Either, it's good to have a day off and kind of reset, or, I think the other part is how fast can you get back on the field and get back into playing and doing that. I thought our guys did a really good job coming out, and they really just stayed pitch to pitch. That from an offensive standpoint, what we talked about today was stringing together at bats, passing the baton, and I thought from the pitching standpoint, I thought they did a really good job. Bixby got his first start. I think that was really big, and I think if you look at his 2 innings, he had really good misses. Obviously, we turned a big double play there, something that I think we haven't done, and we let some things get away on the defensive side at times on some of those double plays to get out of a jam. I thought Bix made a good pitch, and we did that, and then I thought it went from Bixby to the rest of the bullpen. They just kept doing their job, and I think that's going to be a stress, something to stress from here on out is do your job and pass the baton to the next guy.
Brody Green returned to the lineup tonight. What does he add to this lineup that already tough third base battle that's going on right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think experience. I think Brody has been here now 3 years, and he's played sparingly here and there, and then he put together a great fall, and then came back in January and did a really good job in January, and so it was just kind of his time. And I know Kirk said earlier he won the job, and he did, and then all of a sudden goes down with an injury. But to get him back in the lineup, I think experience, that veteran presence. And then I think what it does is it gives us a right-handed bat also. We can get super left-handed, but also it gives us a right-handed bat, and he's been swinging the bat really well. It allowed us to move Ryder over to the middle of the field and give Chad a day just to get off his feet and get in the DH spot, which he's never done before. So you're always teaching, right? There's another teaching moment on how do you DH and how do you do that. But just allowed us to move some guys around and be a little bit more athletic as we move forward. It's kind of a positionless position player group, so-called is what we talk about a little bit, and so it allowed us to do that tonight.
With Brody, it seems like you've got 6 guys you can put in the infield at places, and you've got 4 outfielders that have given you productive at-bats this year. How challenging is it to come up with a lineup every day?
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's a good problem. That's what we always talk about. John obviously is our recruiting coordinator and does a heck of a job putting this group together. But, it's something that we do talk about quite a bit is it's good problems. Certain years you don't have the options, but, you look at, I think it's a lot of how do you make everybody happy and how do you make everybody gel and how do you make the team aspect from it, and that's always the challenge every day. But it's a great feeling to have those options and just see what's going to be the best 9 guys for us to win that day. And we play matchups at times and we look at the numbers, but I also think it allows our guys to stay ready. And there's some guys that haven't gotten in that will get in at some point, but it puts everybody on alert, like, hey, I can be in at any time, I can pinch run, I can play defense, I can be a left-handed bat off the bench, and so on.
Two home runs in 2 games for Curtis. Mm-hmm. How important is his bat in the middle of the order?
Well, huge. I mean, I think any time that veteran, what we haven't done is we haven't done the home run, total. That's kind of when you look at it from the bird's eye view, it's like, okay, what have we done well? What haven't we? And our power supply hasn't been there. But I think most importantly for Curtis is to recognize, as we talk about, is be a good hitter. If you're a good hitter, it's hard to hit. If you're a good hitter, power will come. And I think that's what he's been able to do the last few days, and also being aggressive in certain counts and understanding when to chip in terms of a plus count, and then when to kind of hone it back and get back to the middle of the field. But I thought he's done a good job in the last few days doing that. I think there again, it's like with the power or the lack thereof at times, we just got to pass the baton to the next guy, and I think that really needs to be the focus from here on out, because everybody's capable 1 through 9, and that's how we're going to win this thing, is by everybody passing the baton, doing different things that are asked upon them to get the job done.
Logan Maxwell in the leadoff spot tonight, is that just something you just kind of wanted to get a look at?
Yeah, I think when you're trying to, you're a little bit of, you know, Chat's been there the whole time. Obviously, he's had his struggles the last few weeks, but also maybe just try to alleviate a little bit of pressure there. But also, Logan's hitting for something, and his on base is the highest. And I think with that aspect, now you give him the most at bats. You know, if we can, and Sammy does a good job, who can hit at the top, who can hit at the bottom, and if we can turn the lineup over, and hopefully there's some traffic on base, and we just get him a little bit more bats. But yeah, we'll see moving forward. I think it's going to kind of see what happens to the weekend and see. We're still messing around, as you guys can see. Not messing around, but we're still trying to find the groove in terms of where guys are going to hit best. But I also think that's something that hopefully we can solidify some lineup stuff here in the next week or two.
So that win obviously is huge going to conference play. Is there a different message coming into conference play, like mentality? Is it routines? Is it mechanics? What is it after this win going into this weekend?
Yeah, I think really what it needs to be is day by day. Like tomorrow's the most important day of the year because it's tomorrow and it's the present. I think that has to be the wins, or that has to be the thought, and that's how we're going to keep that thing going. In terms of looking ahead, I don't think you can look ahead. I know we all, we want to go win Friday night, and hopefully that accounts for 3 or 4 wins, but it doesn't do that. It's just one at a time, and I think that's what we have to be able to focus on. And then I also think the other part is we have to get back into focusing on playing the game and not the opponent, and that's something that Coach talked about today with our guys was make sure we're playing the game. Get back to playing the game and do what the game calls for instead of playing Oklahoma State, playing Oklahoma, and that goes back into our background with Ken Revisa, the mental game, and it's all about be where you need to be when you need to be there. So for us right now, it's going to be practice tomorrow, and tomorrow's the most important day of the year, and then we'll get back into Friday or Thursday when we get to Thursday.
Can you walk through the 6th inning, Kirk's ejection, and just kind of what led to that?
Yeah, I don't, obviously the hit by pitch, or what it was, that was just kind of something that I think what happens really is during that stuff is, we all have tipping points, right? I mean, I think there's something that we thought that the ball went off the bat, and they didn't see it that way, and it just so happened that Kirk got ejected, and that's kind of how it went.
With the coaching staff as experienced as y'all, though, you've been a head coach.
Mhm.
Coach Lon has been
Sure.
coach for 37 years. When Kirk's not in the dugout, you feel like you still have the experience necessary to kind of run the ship. I mean, it feels like it's pretty tight.
Yeah, to be honest, nothing really changed. Coach Lon did the pitching, and I was on this side of the dugout doing the offense with JD, and JD was coaching third, and Evan stayed at first, and we all have a really good chemistry and a really good dialogue about communicating, whether it's lineup or changes or in between pitching changes. Hey, what do you see? What do we want to do? So I didn't feel like anything changed. Nothing. I mean, nothing changed. You got what you have to do during those times is you have to operate as business as normal. Even though our skipper wasn't in the dugout, we have to do a good job at keeping it status quo, just as if he was in the dugout, and that's how he wants it, and that's how professionally it should be done. And but we got a great staff and guys that have been around and know exactly what's going on, and everybody there. Again, it just goes back into doing your job. It's another example of telling the players that, hey, we got to do the same thing. Awesome. Thanks, guys.